common sense rules over authoritarianism and fascism. And in the States, everything's control, right? While we pretend we have freedom, the fact is, like, everything's illegal. If you don't have the right permit, you go to jail. If you don't do it right, you get a fine. You go to jail. If you don't pay the fine, you go to jail. If you refuse to go to jail, you go to the grave. That's how the USA operates. And so let's look at Hola, buenas tardes. Let's look at the economy that's happening right here, okay? So here's a guy, here's a pizza delivery, the pizza delivery man, okay? And over here is the guy selling fruit juice, and he has a modified motorcycle, and hang on. He has this modified motorcycle, and he's got a cart on it, and so he's selling juice out of that cart. So you have, as I've talked about before, a lot of free market, a lot of free economy. You have 4 or 5 people riding in the back of a pit truck. In fact, when it's sugarcane harvest season right now, so it's very busy right here. It's not uncommon to see a truck of people with 20 people in the back of a pickup. So in the States, the government says, oh, there's an opportunity to make $3,000 in tickets. There goes his little motorcycle, modified to sell stuff, right? He sells, looks like it's fruit juice that he's selling on there, okay? There goes a truck with a bunch of guys in the back coming from the farm, and guess what? They're not getting tickets. They wouldn't tolerate the idea of being ticketed for riding in the back of a pickup truck. It's completely normal for a couple with one child to ride on a motorcycle. So you'll see a dad and a mom with a baby in between riding on the motorcycle, and that's a completely normal thing. And they may not be going 80 miles an hour doing that, but it's common stuff. At the same time, you'll see big buses, even down these little roads, there's big buses going along. Now see this? Look what just happened right there, and this is what this video is about. Did you see that bus slow down? And now he's picking up speed again. That, my friends, is why the speeding ticket is a sham, okay? Let me show you something. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you one of the things in Mexico that I both love and hate at the same time, and in a moment you will understand why. Let's watch. Here comes a taxi. He's slowing down. Why? Because right there is a tope. The handwritten sign, you notice it's not even very official, okay? What is happening right here that there is no need for a speeding ticket? This is a freaking tope, all right? This thing is like 6 inches of concrete in the middle of the road. A tope is a speed bump, but it's not like the speed bumps in the mall. The size of a tope varies depending on how much you need to slow down. And make no mistake, you will slow down. A tope is not a little bump to remind you. Sometimes it is. They have those too. But a tope is coming into a community. Hey, there's a whole family with about 8 guys in the back of a pickup truck. No problem down here, all right? People are coming home from work now. It's sugarcane harvest season down here on the eastern seaboard, and there's a lot of things happening. That tope right there eliminates the need to have a criminal thief robbing people, which in fact is never a need. It doesn't actually keep us safe in the States, but they sell it to us by saying people are going too fast. Here that doesn't work, because if people are going too fast, the community says, let's make the topes bigger, all right? Let's make the topes bigger. If you hit a tope and you are going too fast, you will break something. When you hit a tope, you are going to slow down. Now, the only thing that really annoys me, okay, they always annoy me. It's always annoying when there's a speed bump in the middle of the highway. But you're coming into town and there's 2 or 3 of these speed bumps and you're going to slow down. It's a common sense economics. It's free markets at work. It's saying we don't need to rob people. Here comes a car. Watch him slow down. They'll go over those things as fast as they can. But if you miss it, that's why I don't like it. There needs to be a sign. There's supposed to be a sign, right? Occasionally one's not marked and you hit it and you're like, whoa. Some of these big ones, guys, and they come in all shapes and sizes. There's topes, poco topes, and grande topes, and medio topes. Okay, so you have topes, and sometimes they're short, sometimes they're a foot long, but 9 inches high, and sometimes they're 5 feet long and 6 inches high. All right, this is how they do it. This is how they keep you from racing through town, because speeding tickets don't actually do that. Government robbing you at the point of a gun and saying, because you were bad, you need to give me money, right? That's like an absurd notion if you really think about it. Think about it. A party who's not at all involved in being hurt says, because you hurt someone or you might have had the possibility of hurting someone, you have to give me money. That's called extortion. That's robbery. That's what every police officer in the USA is engaged in. Traffic tickets are not about keeping you safe. They're about making the government money. That's why in Washington State, which is my hometown, it's $150 now for a seatbelt? Sure, there's a rule here in Mexico most of the time that says you're supposed to wear a seatbelt. And nobody's getting pulled over for it because they're all riding in the back of a pickup with 20 other guys whenever they feel like it. Because they're saying, screw you, government, we're going to continue doing our thing because we're individuals and we have rights and we're going to live. They have to live. And for the most part, the government leaves that alone because they know that they can only get away with so much because there's a lot more tenacity to resist. All right? Here comes a truck. Let me see. I do a lot of sound effects down here because I can't do the language. Okay? Here comes the truck. And he's going to slow way down. That's a sugarcane truck, but it's empty right now. See what's happening? The rear axle came off the ground, guys. That's how big it was. All right? You guys get the idea. The tow pace is the reason why the speeding ticket is unnecessary. If you have a community and you want your children to be safe, you put those tow pays all through town and the cars are going to slow down. Meanwhile, in the USA, we say, oh, we got to keep our families safe, so the police are doing us a service by robbing the people who are driving faster than we like them. How about we use common sense? See, the USA is a nation that used to be run on common sense. Now it's a nation that's run on fear, that's run on fascism, and that's run on force. And that's why the USA is going down. That's why it won't work, because there's no freedom there, because no one will stand up, because people won't rebel. And when we do rebel, when we tell lawless courts to shove off, when we say I don't have to make an excuse for my rights, when we say no to government, the good old boys say you should be in prison or dead. And that's why I'm not there right now. See, I didn't leave the USA because I was so afraid, you guys. Oh, don't get me wrong. These psychopaths are scary. But I've dealt with scary things for years and years in the USA. I left because I'm not willing to walk into a gas chamber. I'm not willing to play their game. And it's time to start setting an example of no with these psychotic government officials like Patrick Kennedy, like Prosecutor Mark. It's time to say enough's enough. It's time to refuse. And if need be, it's time to walk away. Here's another tow pace, big sucker. Slowing people down as they come into town. So you're coming to the curve here. This is the town square. This is the community, right? They want you to slow down. They put in a tow pace. That's common sense being operated effectively instead of government trying to keep us safe by force in a way that doesn't work at all. That's real Mexico. Mexico, sorry. It's not Mexico. The X makes an H sound. Here's some guys selling fruit. They just got their stand set up. Looks like a mom and her kids. Buenas tardes. Selling fruit and vegetables here, which I don't need any right now. Those avocados look pretty good though. When you understand, when you come down here and when you see how much freedom is actually happening, it's kind of mind-boggling. Because it's not that it's perfect. There's still corruption. There's still bad cops. There's still bad government. But it's completely different than we're used to at home, where we do what we're told all the time, or we get put in a cage. And I'm not tolerating that anymore. I'm not tolerating that kind of a life anymore, if I can help it, all right? So while we seek to get our prisoners out, and the Jeff Winehouses and the Schaefer Coxes and all the prisons that are filled with innocent people and people denied due process all over the nation, our voice isn't improved if we end up in there with them. Let me show you guys one more thing here. Just how free market is. Here's a guy in the park. He's set up in the park with his trampolines. And the kids are in there, and we paid like 50 cents for them to use the trampoline pretty much as long as they want, right? So there's free market at work right there. Try doing that in your local city square without a permit. But it gets better. they play music outside of the trampoline. And the music, they're just running a wire. They're running a wire, and they're wiring in to the power pole because there's electricity there. Can you imagine? Can you imagine just running a cord across the sidewalk and hooking it into the power system so that you could set up a trampoline to rent out to kids in the park? Okay, you try that. You try that in the States. Those of you that say we're so free and America's the greatest, you try that. Let me know how that works for you when you go down to your local park and do that. But anyways, I just wanted to show you guys the topes, show you kind of downtown here, but mainly the topes. I've been meaning to show you the topes, and I don't know if they're stealing it or not. They may have made a deal. The point is, you couldn't do that in the States because everything's against the law. Everything needs a permit. Everything needs permission because we don't live in a free country. We live in a fascist nation of slaves who are so used to being slaves that if you try to be free, they will want you put in prison. All right, I'm gonna keep showing you guys Real Mexico. We're gonna keep exposing the lie and try to maybe someday America will get back to freedom again, but it's certainly not happening with police supporting politicians like Donald Trump or Barack Obama. It's certainly not happening with prosecutor terrorists like Jeff Sessions and prosecutor Mark. Maybe they should go all join their own fascist club somewhere else because I'm sick of them ruining my country that I was born in. And in the meantime, I'm gonna do my best to try and live free. All right, you guys, peace, speak out, stand up. Don't be a slave.